The next topic we're going to cover is how to avoid unclear modifiers. These include misplaced modifiers, dangling modifiers, and squinting modifiers. Now don't worry, I'm not going to expect you to learn these terms. They're kind of difficult concepts, for me anyway. I think it's easy to understand that when modifiers are not modifying what the authors intend for them to modify. So I'll show you some examples of that. And I'm not really going to name them as misplaced, dangling, or squinting. That doesn't matter. The thing that matters is being able to recognize a misplaced modifier and know how to correct it. So here's our first example. Baculovirus is a well-established vector for gene delivery into a wide range of human cells with minimal cytotoxicity. So the problem here is the phrase with minimal cytotoxicity. It's modifying something in this sentence, but it's really not clear if it's modifying the well-established vector or if it's modifying human cells. So are they saying human cells with minimal cytotoxicity, or are they saying that the vector has minimal cytotoxicity? That's an unclear modifier. A second example is this one. The protein composition of venom from honeybees was examined here, employing an untargeted proteomics approach to characterize the proteins. Who or what employed the untargeted proteomics approach? There's nothing in the sentence before that employing would refer to. Here's an example that I'm going to show you a revision. The CL peptide receptor pathway modulates a homeodomain master regulator transcription factor in the apical meristem with poorly defined signaling mechanisms. So what this sentence implies, the way that it's written now, is that you have apical meristems with poorly defined signaling mechanisms, and you have apical meristems with well-defined signaling mechanisms. And that the CL peptide receptor only works in those meristems that have poorly defined mechanisms. Now, of course, that's not what they meant. That doesn't make sense biologically, but that's the way the sentence is written. So how would you correct that? One way would be like this. The CL peptide receptor pathway modulates a homeodomain master regulator transcription factor in the apical meristem. However, the pathway's signaling mechanisms are poorly defined. Okay, so now we know what this modifying phrase is modifying. It's modifying the pathway, not the apical meristem. Another example is environmental stress elicits rapid and profound responses in plants designed for protection, avoidance, or progeny survival through changes in conditions. The way this is written, it sounds like the plants are designed for protection, avoidance, or progeny survival. But I don't think that's what the authors meant. I think they're talking about the responses are designed for protection, avoidance, or survival. So what I would suggest to these authors is to break it into two sentences. That's going to be the easiest way to solve this problem. Environmental stress elicits rapid and profound responses in plants. These responses are designed for protection, avoidance, or progeny survival. An additional example is recombinant cells expressing the monoclonal antibody were cultured in tightly controlled bioreactors for 12 hours prior to the addition of ammonia to stress the cultures. So here, to stress the cultures, is that referring to the ammonia, or is it referring to culturing the cells in bioreactors for 12 hours? So is culturing the cells in bioreactors for 12 hours stressing the cultures? Or is the ammonia stressing the cultures? It's not entirely clear the way this sentence is currently written, so what we could do is revise it as such. Recombinant cells expressing the monoclonal antibody were cultured in tightly controlled bioreactors for 12 hours. Then ammonia was added to stress the cultures. So it's a subtle change, but it does clarify what that modifier is referring to.